Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Monday evening to you, Jacksonville. A victory Monday evening here in Northeast Florida. The Jaguars coming off a 26-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers. We will certainly talk about that game, but the breaking news that has transpired in Jaguar land within the last 10 minutes or so, Adam Schefter of ESPN reporting that Tank Bigsby has been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. In exchange, the Jaguars get a 5th-round pick in 2026 and a 6th-round pick in 2026. So we got a lot to get into when it comes to that. I certainly want to recap the game. I got a lot of thoughts. How good does it feel to be 1-0 in the city of Jacksonville? But boy, 1-0, and now you trade Tank Bigsby, which I didn't see coming. I'll be honest with you. It kind of caught me off guard about 2.5 minutes ago when that report came out. So I'm kind of digesting this news as you are hearing it. But we will talk a lot about the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight, as you would imagine. And yes, we will talk about the absolute disaster in Gainesville, Florida, with the Florida Gators losing to USF. I got former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop, who's going to join us later on in the program, basically to give his thoughts from an alumni point of view, a former All-American point of view, about Billy Napier. Because I got to tell you, I think anybody that was defending Billy up until Saturday night, that was kind of the water over the dam. That was a bad situation in the loss to South Florida. We will get there. But the big news of the night, the big deal of the night, is the trading of Tank Bigsby and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that big deal of the night right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No, because
it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, so 5 minutes ago, I had planned my opening monologue, was going to break down the game, the big victory over Carolina, starting 1-0 on the year. And we will get to that. That's not going to go away. But then James Gladstone and his intangibly rich ecosystem pulls off another trade. I'll tell you this. If James Gladstone's nothing else, that guy is a wheeling and dealing son of a gun. Tim Patrick before the regular season started. Colin Saunders before the regular season started. Your release guys like Chad Muma and Daniel Thomas and, Jordan Jefferson, Javon Foster, DeAndre Prince. And now we find out Tank Bigsby, after his 5 carries for 12 yards yesterday in the win over Carolina, is being traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick in the 2026 draft. All right, I'm kind of talking through this with you guys right now. Hit me up on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Would love to get your thoughts, not only on the win yesterday, but on the trading of Tank Bigsby tonight. Here's my initial thought, again, because I found out about this 10 minutes ago. Everybody had written off Travis Etienne here in Jacksonville, right? I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. I kind of did too. I believed a lot of the scuttlebutt that, is he going to be traded? Would he be the one dealt out of town? He's not a Gladstone Cohen guy. Does he necessarily fit what they do in their offense? He's going to be a free agent coming up this next offseason. Probably playing his final year here in Jacksonville, right? We heard all of that. And then, and I did make mention of this numerous times, but so did a lot of other people. Travis Etienne had a great camp. A great camp. It was noticeable how different Travis Etienne was looking. And I still chalk some of that up to him knowing he's scheduled to become a free agent after this year. A contract year can be a powerful thing, no question about that. But you look at Travis Etienne, he's 26 years old. He won't turn 27 until January. He's got plenty of good years left. Has there maybe been a change of heart in the city after 143 yards that Travis Etienne put on the board yesterday? Outside of Derrick Henry, he was probably the best running back in football yesterday. Most productive running back in football. Etienne was dynamic. Etienne was explosive. Etienne was great. You also saw Bigsby Tootin get involved. And on a critical third down that led ultimately to a Jaguar touchdown, on a 3rd and 3 inside the red zone, it was LaQuint Allen Jr. who got a carry up the middle for 4 yards on a first down to move the chains. They dressed 4 running backs yesterday. NFL teams don't do that. I remember, when the inactives came out and you see Mason Smith, which, again, was shocking. But then you see Strigow and B.J. Green, you're thinking, they dressed all 4 tailbacks. That probably should have told us something. And now just barely over 24 hours later, Tank Bigsby is sent on his way. Again, 5 carries for 12 yards yesterday for Bigsby. And now he goes to Philadelphia for a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick in the 2026 draft. What does this ultimately mean for the roster? Well, for the here and now, obviously the roles of Bigsby Tootin and LaQuint Allen Jr. will be massively expanded. Now you're one Travis Etienne injury away from having 2 rookies as your 2 main tailbacks. What does this mean for Jaquindon Jackson, the star of training camp, the rookie from Arkansas who they cut, picked back up on the practice squad? Well, he might get elevated as well to the 53-man roster. 200 yards rushing yesterday for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Etienne accounted for $143 of that. We knew all along. Trust me, we knew. They loved Bigsby Tootin and they loved LaQuint Allen Jr. I remember talking with you guys the night after the draft, or the Monday after the draft it is, where I thought, man, they drafted 2 running backs. And at the time, I thought LaQuint Allen Jr. was the best available player they just couldn't pass on. I now believe that LaQuint Allen Jr. was on their radar for a little bit. And I think they were actually surprised that he was still there in round 7, which is why they were thrilled to be able to get him at that spot. And I know they loved Bigsby Tootin from pretty much the get-go. So they got 2 guys that they really liked in the draft. You got Travis Etienne, and then you got Tank Bigsby. And now we all thought Etienne was going to be the odd man out because of age. Well, keep in mind, Etienne's 2 years older than Bigsby. Bigsby year 3, Etienne year 5. No doubt Etienne has had a more productive career to this point than Bigsby. But yeah, I thought Bigsby and Brenton Strange were going to have massively enhanced roles this year. Brenton Strange certainly does. Brenton Strange was an absolute beast yesterday in the win over Carolina. Tank Bigsby, not so much. Very pedestrian, 5 carries, 12 yards. And now he's going to back up Saquon Barkley in Philly. To wrap all this up, to summarize all this. All right, so the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight have traded Tank Bigsby to Philadelphia. That obviously means enhanced roles for Bigsby Tootin. That means enhanced roles for LaQuint Allen Jr. That means Etienne is obviously going nowhere. And I don't know if anything will come out. It's just odd that Bigsby was getting first-team reps. I remember there was one night I was sitting here and I told you guys that Bigsby never received a handoff that day from a quarterback not named Trevor Lawrence. meaning he was with the starters the entire training camp practice, and that was a month ago, maybe less than that. And we go from him being with the ones an entire training camp practice to now being traded for a 5th and 6th round pick.
Doesn't a lot of it have to do with him not being able to catch the ball out of the backfield, though?
Well, maybe. I mean, it could potentially have to do with a lot of things.
I mean, it's like every time he goes in, it's like you know that he's probably going to get the ball, and you know that he's just going to barrel in, and like you saw yesterday, he had the 3rd and 2, stuck his nose in, got the first down. Like that's about the only thing he can do.
Yeah, but I would have thought they would have known that, March, April, May, June, July, and not put him with the starters for the majority of the first couple of weeks of camp in August. I mean, he was the starting running back in those practices. There's no other way to say it. He wasn't with Nick Mullins. He wasn't with Johnny Wolford. He wasn't with Seth Hennigan. Tank Bigsby was with Trevor Lawrence and the first team offense 4 weeks ago. And now he gets traded for 2 mid to low round selections.
Which, by the way, according to a lot of Eagles people, it is not related to Will Shipley, who's the backup Eagles running back. It's not related to his injury he had in their game a couple of days ago. The Eagles want to use him for special teams, for a kick return.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to speculate, but that's odd that you would go from starting reps 4 weeks ago to being dealt the day after an opening day victory. But nevertheless, Tank Bigsby gone from Jacksonville to Philadelphia. For the Jaguar point of view, hey, Bashel Tutin, hey, LaQuinn Allen Jr., man, you guys hit the lottery as far as being involved in this offense and with this franchise. A 4th-round rookie and a 7th-round rookie will now be on the game day rosters unless they're injured. They are part of the 48. They are in. Very impressive for 2 rookies to make that big an impact on this coaching staff in such a short amount of time. And obviously, it means Travis Etienne is the guy. Travis Etienne is your bell cow. You have 30 carries in a game. I would imagine Etienne's going to have 18 to 20 of those. Can he stay healthy? There have been issues there, right? But there is no doubt when Etienne is on, he's on. And he was on yesterday to the tune of $143. We got to go quick here because I actually want to recap yesterday's game. This Bigsby stuff hit us out of the blue. Etienne, as far as Jaguar running back history, is in like the top 6 or 7 of all-time rushing yardage. Yet some people made it seem like Etienne was a complete afterthought coming into the year. It was all sorts of love for Bigsby. People were interested in the 2 rookies. And I'll give Travis Etienne a ton of credit, man. You didn't hear him complain. You didn't hear him go to the media. You didn't hear him bellyache. He just put his head down and he went to work. And he had a fantastic camp. He went out yesterday and had a fantastic game. And obviously, in the coach's eyes, he is the man at the running back position for the rest of 2025. He's the present. It appears Bashel Tutin and LaQuinn Allen Jr. are the future. And again, what does this mean for Jaquindon Jackson? Maybe he gets moved up from the practice squad. Never a dull moment in Jacksonville with James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, and Tony Baselli. A big opening day victory yesterday and the trading of Tank Bigsby tonight. They did win a football game yesterday, right? I think I remember that. I did the 5th quarter. Well, I do want to talk about that football game and what it means moving forward. Wasn't it nice to actually have a football team that looked like they knew what they were doing? That looked like there was some sort of plan going in? As juvenile and as stupid as that sounds in most NFL markets, there's been a lot of games here in Jacksonville over the past couple of years where it literally looked like they did not know what they were doing or there was no sort of plan going in. I loved what I saw yesterday. Loved it. And people say, well, Carolina's bad. Yeah, you know what? They are bad. They are bad. But they still won more games than Jacksonville did last year. They have a second-year coach compared to a first-year head coach in William Cohen. Jacksonville wiped the floor with a team that won more games than they did a year ago in the Carolina Panthers. Just consider that before you say, oh, they beat a bad team. Yeah, they did beat a bad team. But Jacksonville was bad too last year. And they destroyed Carolina. We'll talk about it next. Hacker After Dark. We're glad you're with us on a Monday night. A victory Monday in Northeast Florida. It's 1010XL and it's 92.5 FM.
Check in Tuesdays for Jeff Lageman and Check the Tape Tuesday.
We'll keep you up to date with the latest and NFL news.
Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Checked by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Jacksonville is game time, and just like the Jaguars fight for every yard on the field, Duck Duck Rooter fights for every customer at home. From plumbing repairs to septic pump outs to keeping your AC cool all season long, we've got the winning playbook. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and delivers championship service every time. When plumbing, septic, or AC problems put you on defense, don't fumble the call. Dial 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe you got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
For the first time ever, Beards Diamonds brings you names like Rolex, Cartier, Van Cleef, and Tiffany. Mark your calendar, September 18th through 21st, 4-day premium estate jewelry event. This is a spectacular buying opportunity. Your chance to own the world's premium brands. Ready to own the Rolex of your dreams? Beards buyers have scoured the country, handpicking high-quality pre-owned Rolex watches. All the hard-to-find models, Submariners, Datejust, Skydwellers, Yachtmasters. Over 100 pristine Rolex timepieces to choose from at exceptional value prices. Plus, showcases filled with Tiffany rings, Cartier necklaces, Van Cleef pendants, exquisite rare gemstone pieces, the finest estate jewelry in the world at prices you never thought possible. And for this special event, Beards is selling loose diamonds at unheard of prices from 1 carat to 10 carats. Dazzling rare diamonds marked down to rock bottom. Don't miss this unprecedented event. The finest names, the highest quality, the guaranteed best values. It's Thursday through Sunday, September 18th through 21st. Come early for the best selection. Beards Diamonds at St. John's Town Center.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Get down to the bank Sunday, September 21st, as your Jaguars face off with division rivals, the Houston Texans. Celebrate Hispanic heritage and witness history as the Jaguars take the field for the first time this season in the legendary Prowler throwback jerseys. Lock in your seats now for a 1 p.m. kick by visiting Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at Everbank Stadium.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Packer After Dark on 1010XL.
Liam has done a great job establishing the culture he wants, trusting us as men and as players to be professionals, and in turn we tried to return that to him by doing what's required of us, doing what we're supposed to do all the time. So I think in the short amount of time we've all been together, a level of trust has been built. And people saw like what he did in Tampa last year, so there was an idea that this can be us too if we do everything right. So trying to give back the trust to him that he gave to us and let it come together like it did.
The thoughts of Jaguars center Robert Hainsey earlier today at the Miller Electric Center. Robert Hainsey, DeJuan Smoot, along with Liam Cohen, met with the media. That cut courtesy of our friends over at Jaguars.com. Establishing a culture. Yeah, you could say that again. I'll get to the game from yesterday in one moment. Again, the big news tonight, if you've missed it or you're just joining us, the Jaguars have traded Tank Bigsby to the Philadelphia Eagles. Interestingly enough, courtesy of our buddy D-Rock over at ESPN.com, Philadelphia is giving Jacksonville the San Francisco 5th-round pick that was included, I believe, in the Bryce Huff trade. And if Huff, it's a contingency pick, or if Huff gets 8 sacks, it gets moved to a 4th. So Jaguar fans, go ahead and start rooting for Huff out in San Francisco to get 8 sacks. Because if he does, that becomes a 4th-round selection. But as it stands right now, when you combine this with the Fred Johnson trade, the Jaguars now own Philadelphia's 5th, 6th, and 7th-round picks. And I want to say Jacksonville, despite not having a first-round pick next year, they still have 13 or 14 different picks. It is wild the amount of capital that the Jacksonville Jaguars have in next year's NFL draft. 641-1010 on the text line. If you want to get involved, it's designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Give me your thoughts on the Tank Bigsby trade. We would be more than happy to do that. Couple other things going on in the National Football League. Monday Night Football going on right now. The final game of week number 1, Minnesota and Chicago. They've basically just started, about 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Chicago is driving. They're down at the Minnesota 30-yard line. We will keep you updated. But the final game of week 1 in the NFC North, Bears-Vikings, scoreless, 9.5 to go there in the first quarter. All right, more on the Tank Bigsby trade in just a moment. To the game yesterday. I had so many people that I was interacting with on social media, my buddies on a group text, that sort of thing, that were finding flaws yesterday, right? Too many penalties. You're not beating a very good team. If this was a better team, Jacksonville wouldn't be doing as well. You know, whatever. And my response to all of them, social media and even my group of buddies, and you probably saw some of my responses on social media, I just simply said, who cares? Who cares? Oh, they committed 11 penalties. I don't care if they commit 38 penalties. If you beat a team by 16 points in the National Football League, you can do whatever you want. All I cared about was winning the game. And Jacksonville didn't just win the game. They won the game going away. It was a dominating performance. They pounded the Carolina Panthers into submission. I thought Liam Cohen did an outstanding job. I love going forward on 4th down. Love it. Own 37-yard line. Now, if he doesn't get it, you know. But what did he say the entire offseason? We're going to be physical. We're going to run the ball. We're going to establish a toughness about this team. And what message would you have been sending on 4th and a foot on literally your first offensive drive of the season had you punted. Now, if it's 4th and 2, okay, well, that's a different story. They had to gain a foot. And if you've been preaching physicality, if you've been preaching toughness, we're going to run the football, we rebuilt this offensive line, what message would you have sent to that team and to your fans if you punted it on 4th and a foot on your first offensive possession of the year? He went for it, and he got it. And it would have been a huge play had De'Ami Brown not tripped. Got the first down, went on to get a field goal. But you want to talk about a tone setter for the season? A first-year head coach on his opening offensive drive of being a head coach on his own 37-yard line going forward on 4th down. Whew. Liam Cohen's got some big guts. And it paid off. Anthony Campanile, I thought, was fantastic on the defensive side of the ball. The Jaguars forced 9 turnovers in 2024, guys. 9 in 17 games. They got 3 yesterday. Every time they did this drill, I tried to take video of it and put it on my social media on Twitter. I know I put numerous ones up. The punching drill. I saw them do it every day to begin practice and training camp. Working on punching out the ball. The peanut Tillman punch is what it's called, right? You see them do it in July and August, every training camp practice. And what do you see in week 1? That same exact situation. Foye Oluokun punches out the ball, saves Jaguars. Carolina was in field goal range, takes points off the board. Jacksonville gets it, and then drives down and gets a field goal of their own. And then, before that, not to bury the lead, Oluokun's interception on a great play by Eric Murray to tip it. Oluokun gets it. You know what the Jaguars did after that? I couldn't believe it. I had to make sure I was watching the Jacksonville Jaguars. They took a turnover in plus territory, and they went down and scored a touchdown. Holy crap. When's the last time we saw that here in Jacksonville? We heard about complimentary football all the time. It was just a thought. Never really existed on Sunday afternoons. And in the first half of the Cohen, Gladstone, Baselli, Campanile, Udisic era, not only do they get a turnover, an interception, but they punch it in for 6. They looked like an NFL team yesterday. Again, in most markets, that would sound stupid. Not in this market, because there have been many years where they didn't look like an NFL team. But the one thing I loved, and I mentioned this last segment, the one thing I loved, and my buddies were guilty of this as well. Oh, Carolina's just a bad team. If Jacksonville's playing anybody any good, Jacksonville wouldn't have won. Carolina's a bad team. Yeah, I don't think Carolina's great. But that bad team in the Carolina Panthers won more games than the Jacksonville Jaguars did in 2024. I believe they were a 5-win team. Jacksonville was a 4-win team. So it's not outlandish to be happy about a win yesterday. You beat a team that was better than you last year. You beat a team that's head coach is going into year 2, where your head coach was making his debut yesterday. And not only did you beat said team, you beat said team to death. Yeah, they need to clean up the penalties. Yeah, I didn't like the Trevor interception. Yeah, Trevor had some overthrows. Fair. But all in all yesterday, when you take everything that transpired, the good, the bad, the in-between, if you are a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, how you could not have been flipping ecstatic about that performance is beyond me. I was ecstatic enough for you, I guess. I was thrilled that I finally got to do a fifth quarter where we didn't have to talk about our head getting beat in. We got to do the beating to another NFL team. It was a great Sunday, man. A great Sunday. But the news doesn't stop there. Again, Tank Bigsby traded tonight from Jacksonville to Philadelphia in exchange for 2 picks in 2026, a 5th rounder and a 6th rounder. Denmark, I'm going to try to look this up, but you're more intelligent when it comes to finding said stuff quicker. We'll do this in a little bit. If you include the Tim Patrick trade, and if you include this trade tonight with the Fred Johnson deal, all the trades that have happened in the last month or 3 weeks, I want to say Jacksonville, now that the dust has settled on trades for now, has like 13 or 14 picks in next year's draft. And keep in mind, they don't have a first rounder. And despite not having a first rounder, Gladstone has still accumulated, with some help from Balky, the previous GM, has still accumulated over a dozen picks in next year's draft.
D-Rock tweeted out 2 minutes ago, the Jaguars have 13 draft picks in 2026.
13 draft picks. And if you're James Gladstone, you know what that means? And again, this is a conversation for way, way on down the road, but you can wheel and deal like nobody's business. Who says you can't get back into round 1 or move up in round 2 or round 3? You got 13 picks. Crazy amount of draft capital. And 4 of those picks are going to be in the top 100. Jaguars won a football game yesterday. They're not resting on their laurels. Their 34-year-old GM just traded Tank Bigsby. To say that I am intrigued with what Cohen, Gladstone, and Baselli are building here is an understatement. And I think you not only should be intrigued, I think you should be pretty fired up. Because based on the GMs we had in a prior life, the Dave Caldwells of the world and the Trent Baalkes of the world, what James Gladstone has done in 7 months, man, exciting times here in Jacksonville. And again, the Tank Bigsby trade, what does that mean? Well, it means, hey, Bashel Tootin, hey, LaQuinn Allen Jr., you're up. And Travis Etienne, it's your barbecue. You're the guy once again in that halfback room here in Jacksonville. A lot of news tonight. Jamal St. of Channel 4. Let's talk about the performance yesterday. Let's talk about the win over Carolina. Let's talk about the performance of Travis Etienne and of that defense getting 3 turnovers. And let's take a ever so brief look ahead to Sunday. You want to talk about a barometer game, a measuring stick game? You go into Cincy and you beat Burrow and Chase. I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying if they do, boy, what the conversation will be in this town on Monday. We'll take a brief look ahead to Cincinnati. All of that coming up. Jamal St. of Channel 4 next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big...
Whoa! See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
If you've been in a big truck accident, you need a lawyer that specializes in big trucks. A lawyer who knows all the federal traffic rules that can affect your case.
And who can navigate the complex web of laws dealing with the trucking company, the leasing company, the shipper, and all the other details that can complicate your case.
At Farah and Farah, we've seen it all, and we're ready to go the long haul to fight for you. Jacksonville.
Florida Gators football on 1010XL is driven by Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors, and the law firm of Farah and Farah. Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars 1-0 after a victory over the Carolina Panthers. They will hit the road this Sunday to take on Joe Burrow, Jamal St in Cincinnati. And, of course, you will hear that game right here on 1010XL. Let's look back on the win over Carolina. Let's look ahead to Cincinnati as well with my buddy Jamal St of Channel 4. He's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Jamal, how we doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Hacker. How you doing?
Jamal, I'm wonderful. We don't normally start with a dominating win. The fifth quarter was a lot of fun last night, as you can imagine. And your overall thoughts on a 26-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers?
You know, they did exactly what they needed to do. They did exactly what we expected them to do, which is a breath of fresh air around this team. I think we kind of gotten used to them playing down to the competition sometimes. And this time they went out there and they took care of business. And they looked like the better team against a kind of Panthers team that's in pretty rough shape. And that's what you want to do. I think my biggest takeaway from this game, Hacker, was the ability for this team to play through mistakes and still win. I mean, it felt like under Peterson that they had to play almost perfect football games. Penalties would derail the one holding penalty, and you might as well just warm Logan Cook up and send him out because it derailed the drive and it was over with. On their opening drive, 2 holding penalties, still go down and get 3 yards. Now, you never want to see the holding penalties, but you want them to be able to kind of push through that adversity and still make it work, and that's what they did.
You know, that's exactly right, and this would not be the case in almost every other NFL market, but as I was watching this game yesterday, I almost thought to myself, the coaches actually look like they know what they're doing. There looks like some sort of plan out there, and honestly, Jamal, there have been years here and games here where that did not look like the case.
It didn't. Yeah, you're right. And it looked like they were in complete control. They looked like they had, some creative ideas and creative implementation of things around. Look, overall, I mean, I think it was a good first outing for Liam Cohen. able to go out there and get the first W. I think he's the second head coach in Jaguars history to win their first game. Doug Peterson did it in 2017, won his first game as officially head coach, and then Liam Cohen gets it done in his first game. So good to get that first one under his belt.
Yeah, it was a good effort, 26-10. And look, the running game, again, Jamal St. of Channel 4, the running game, Jamal, is what really got me. 200 yards on the ground, ETN with a $143. There were many Jaguar fans who wanted ETN shipped out of here a month ago. Who knows if this is going to be the case the rest of the year, but a $143 to start the season, what a game for Travis Etienne.
Man, I think we overthought it. I really do. I know there was all this stuff about, do they like him? Do they not like him? Are they going to ship him out? Are they going to trade him? It's time to move on. Let the rookie play, blah, 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 blah. The guy's 6th in franchise history in yards from scrimmage. While they had other guys that got touches, Travis Etienne took the bulk of the touches and had himself a productive day. I mean, one of the better days of his career. He goes out there and gets it done. I think this thing was overthought. I think the offseason's a long time, and I think stuff pops up, and then lo and behold, looky here, Travis Etienne back leading the backfield. He's back healthy, and he's back doing what he was doing, what we've seen him do when he's been healthy.
You know, outside of ETN, look, all the talk about Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr., and they had moments yesterday. But, Jamal, I got to tell you, you combine receptions with the blocking. Brenton Strange was a beast out there yesterday.
Oh, man, there's the one play where I think Tank Bigsby's running it, and it's not like a crazy pickup, but Brenton Strange absolutely just lays out a guy and kind of stands there and looks at him. I mean, just diabolical stuff. Brenton Strange is an absolute force out there in the running game. And he was productive in the passing game, too. He caught 3 passes for 49 yards on the opening drive of the game. I talked to Brenton after the game. He said that helped him get into a flow state. So it just kind of, you once you touch the football, you're kind of just going with it after that. So, look, he was impactful on every level of the game, especially, throwing some of those blocks. Those Panthers guys on that big 71-yard run from Travis Etienne, he took out 2 guys.
Yeah.
He took out 2 guys. I don't know what more you could ask for from a tight end.
No, he was fantastic yesterday. And, Jamal, we're in a world where everybody wants the young free agent. Go sign the 25, 26-year-old free agent. And the Jaguars did some of that this offseason, certainly. But I want to talk about the old guard, if you will, the Eric Murrays, the Jordan Lewises, the DeJuan Smoots, the Austin Johnsons, the Emmanuel Ogbas. All of those guys contributed yesterday, and the elder statesman of the locker room, kind of the old guard that was here before this season, and Foye Oluokun, he was the best defensive player on the field yesterday. So it was nice to see the quote-unquote old guys really getting after it.
Yeah, look, those veteran guys definitely had themselves some pretty good days out there. I think those free agent additions from James Gladstone and company this offseason paying early dividends. I think you can now kind of see the vision of what they saw in Eric Murray. We can kind of see the vision and what they saw in Jordan Lewis and what they bring to the defense quickly. They're guys that are reliable. They know what to do. They're setting a tone. They're guys that don't make mistakes. How many times a game did we see a blown coverage linebacker? And then you go through this one and you see Eric Murray where it seems like he's in just the right place at just the right time. Same thing for Jordan Lewis, just the right place at just the right time. This defense is fiery now. They're flying all over the football field, and it's in a big part because of some of this veteran leadership they brought in.
Cincinnati coming up on Sunday. We'll get to that game in a moment, but let's focus on Trevor right now. I thought there was some good, there was some not so good, but you combine everything. And I was fine with the way Trevor Lawrence played yesterday. What was your thought?
Look, he was fine. His first outing in a new offense, they really didn't need him to go out there and set the world on fire. The one throw that sticks out is obviously the interception. I'm sure he wishes he had that one back. It was a fantastic play from Horn, but also a throw that Trevor's got to, put a little bit farther out there. I think Trevor will tell you it wasn't his best throw and one that he wishes he had back. But overall, look, it was a fine day. The running game got the job done, and Trevor Lawrence went out there and did what he needed to do. There were some absolutely great plays that he made. And look, I was encouraged. The ball was out of his hand timely, and he took the checkdowns when he needed to. So these are things that we've said about Trevor over the years that we needed to see. And we saw him. So I think there's going to come a time where there's a game, possibly this week against the Bengals, where Trevor's going to have to light it up. And I think we've at least seen enough where I think there should be at least a solid belief that he can go out there and do that.
Couple of more for Jamal St. of Channel 4. Jamal, I got to ask you about Travis Hunter. 6 catches for 33 yards, but only 6 snaps on the defensive side of the ball. I heard the guys on ESPN today, Rex Ryan among them, just, all up in arms at only 6 snaps. This goes to show you Hunter can't do it. I guarantee you those guys did not watch 1 snap of the Jaguar-Panther game yesterday. What was your take on Hunter, and is that a trend, or do you just think that's week 1? We'll see more of him on the defensive side of the ball maybe as early as this Sunday?
I think it's week 1. I think there's nothing there. I think we just need to wait and see on this thing. Like, overall, did you need him? Was there a second on the defensive side of the football where you said, wow, we got to get Travis Hunter out here because he's definitely going to help? Like, why waste him? Why put extra snaps on a guy that you feel like is going to log plenty of snaps in meaningful football games? They really felt like they were in control of this game against the Carolina Panthers basically all day. Why subject him to any more wear and tear, which is what all these old guys that are saying he can't do it are concerned about. So, I mean, this one's a non-story for me. Like, if you don't need him because you got enough guys that can handle the Panthers, then why put him out there and just subject him to extra hits, extra plays? Let your guys go out there and do what they do. It'd be one thing if somebody had gotten hurt and they needed a corner and they then went farther down the bench and moved past him. Then we could have a different conversation. But right now, it's a non-story, man.
All right, Jamal, Cincinnati on Sunday. This will be the first time the Jaguars were up there since Trevor Lawrence's rookie year, that Thursday night that will live in infamy in Jacksonville Jaguar lore, as Urban Meyer decided not to get back on the team plane that night and went to a club in Ohio and got his groove on. We all remember that. But in that game, Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good in the first quarter. Cincinnati obviously came back and won the game on a last-second field goal. But this will be all about Trevor versus Joe Burrow on Sunday. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, I think Liam Cohen's going to get on the team plane and fly back. So That's the good news. Look, this is the measuring stick game early in the season for me, Hacker. I mean, I know they got a Monday Night Football game against the Chiefs coming up, but, I mean, this is the one where you really are going to get to see where they're at. This is a pretty solid Cincinnati Bengals team. And, I mean, everybody that watches football knows just what Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow can do to a defense, and they don't have to try very hard to do it, it seems like, a lot of the time. So that's going to be a real test for this Jaguars defense. And, I mean, the offense still has to be able to keep pace with whatever that Bengals offense can do. So I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have his hands full. I think he's going to have to put some points on the scoreboard. Cincinnati's no easy place to play, and the Bengals are a pretty good football team. I'm looking at this as a measuring stick game. They go up to Cincinnati and win this, then all of a sudden you feel pretty good. Week 3 coming back home 2-0 against the Houston Texans. Yeah, I think that's a scenario that a lot of people would like to say, okay, maybe it's time to get in the driver's seat for the South.
Yeah, no one pays any attention to Jacksonville beating Carolina. If Jacksonville goes to Cincinnati and wins, that will be an attention grabber. That will begin people saying, ooh, all right, we'll see about the Jaguars. So it's a heck of an opportunity for Jacksonville on Sunday. Of course, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL with kickoff at 1 o'clock. Prior to that, it's going to be a big night under the Friday Night Lights. Of course, you can tune in to the social media platforms of both Channel 4 and 1010XL, as Justin Barney and myself will have Friday Night Lights on 4+. It was a great weekend last weekend, Jamal, with St. Augustine Bowls, among others. And I know Channel 4's got a big game of the week this week, the St. Johns County battle between Bartram Trail and Creekside.
Yeah, when we start talking about rivalries in the area, Hacker, this is one of the ones that's going to be near the top of the list. Now, the Bears and the Knights, neither one of them has gotten off to maybe the start to the season that they want, but that makes this game that much more important for both of these schools. Both of them could use a win, and the bonus, you get to give your rival, your biggest rival, another loss along the way. So I think this is going to be a huge game. This is a rivalry you kind of mark your calendar for every year. So excited to have it on deck for our game of the week this week.
Yeah, it's a big week, not only with Bartram Trail Creekside, a huge one between Mandarin and Bradford County as well. And I go back to last Friday, whether it was Bowles, St. Augustine, Fleming Island, Oakleaf, Tallahassee, Lincoln. Boy, what a statement Nice made in destroying them. Last Friday is kind of why we do Friday Night Lights. It was a lot of fun all over the area with some big high school games.
Yeah, man. Look, high school football there's nothing quite like it. You got to love it. I got the chance to go out there to Trinity Christian where Reigns really took care of business. I mean, the Vikings aren't playing around, man. They're putting everybody on notice. If you step on the field with them, you better be ready to strap up because there were some hard hits and they're lighting up the scoreboard at the same time. They are not playing. And neither is Ed White. I was at Ed White early in the night, and the Commanders absolutely lit up the scoreboard. I mean, there are a lot of good teams around the area that I think people are kind of looking past, and they're playing some really good football right now. And, that's why you go out there and play the games, and that's why we got you and Justin hanging out and keeping an eye on the scoreboard so that way everybody can keep up with some of these teams that are really starting to dominate and separate themselves from the pack.
And, of course, you can check that out on the social media channels of both 1010XL and Channel 4. Jamal, tell us about Teal the Show and the Jaguar coverage you guys have on Channel 4 heading up to Cincinnati on Sunday.
Yeah, we got Teal the Show coming your way every Monday and Friday night over on News for Jacks. That's at 11:20. We'll look at the shows, whether it's a Victory Monday or Get You Ready for the Opponent. Always a good kind of cliff notes so you can get ready for Sunday and get your game planning done. If you're looking for some Jaguars coverage, you can come hang out with us on Monday and Friday nights at 11:20.
Jamal St. of Channel 4. Jamal, appreciate it, man. I'll see you down there in the Jaguar locker room on Wednesday.
All right, see you, Hacker.
Believe in the unbelievable. Unbelievable! 1010XL. I can't believe it! I can't believe it! We're hearing is believe it.
Unbelievable! Are you trapped at a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in at a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. So start now by calling 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here. I was doing the 5th quarter yesterday after the big Jaguar win over Carolina, and a listener came up to me at our location of the 5th quarter and said, Hacker, I heard your journey on Awaken 180. I heard about all the weight that you lost. I wanted you to know that I've signed up. And I said, man, you have just changed your life. He was so excited about it because he knew the success I've had. Me and him started talking. I told him what to expect. That's what happens when a weight loss program like Awaken 180 works so well for me. I want to share it with all of you. That's why I do this. That's why I get to talk about it as much as I do. I want you to experience the life-changing weight loss that I did with Awaken 180 weight loss. I hope that gentleman I talked to yesterday gets off to a great start. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
A judge swings a gavel and I pound the hammer. I'm not judging, just hammering. Hammer Time with Hayes Carlyon, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, it only costs for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 6th.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Your family can enjoy a special day of fun with games, food, and live music while remembering the sacrifices of our nation's prisoners of war at the National POW MIA Recognition Day, September 20th. Learn more at POWMIAmemorial.org.
Shuffle up and deal for a cause. Let's go all in to help others out. Join the Hold'em for Life poker tournament coming up September 20th at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall. Every hand helps the Women's Help Center support expectant mothers and newborns.
The average cost associated with childhood cancer is a startling $833,000. This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Almost halftime on Hacker After Dark. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Monday Night Football going on. Final game of Week 1. 12:40 to go in the first half. Chicago, a 7-3 lead over Minnesota. Caleb Williams, a 1-yard rushing touchdown. Minnesota has answered with a field goal. 7-3 Bears over the Vikings. 12.5 to go in the first half. So the Jaguars, big news tonight, trading Tank Bigsby to Philadelphia. So here is a breakdown of the draft capital the Jaguars have now in the 2026 draft. As we know, they don't have a first-round pick because of the Travis Hunter trade. As it stands right now, this is what they do have. They have 1 second-round pick. They have 3 third-round picks. So you're going to have 4 picks in the top 100, despite not having a first-rounder. 1 fourth-round selection. With the trade tonight with Bigsby to Philadelphia, they now have 3 fifth-round selections. They currently have 1 sixth-round selection and 4 seventh-round selections for a total of 13 draft picks. 13 picks by my count. Again, I go to all these websites, future draft capital, that sort of things. And boy, these update pretty quick because, again, the Bigsby trade was only announced about an hour ago. But 13 draft picks for the Jaguars in 2026. 3 in the third round, 3 in the fifth round, 4 in the seventh round. So not only the Jaguars look like they're going to win some games in the regular season, again, 1-0 after yesterday's victory over Carolina, they have a lot of things to be looking forward to in the future with 13 draft picks right now in the 2026 NFL draft. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we will talk about that disaster in Gainesville, and that's all it was. There's no other word for it. It was a disaster. And by the way, and I'll get into this, when I talk with Ben Troop, former Gator All-American tight end, bet the defensive tackle, the transfer that spit in the face of that USF offensive lineman on Saturday. I literally was so mad about that I made a video at my house because I just could not wait to come on here and talk about how disgusting an act that was. If I was in charge at Florida, that kid would never play for me again. You know, whether you yank his scholarship, you send him on his way, NIL be damned, you're going to spit in another man's face. That's not Florida football. That's not the Gator football I know. I would never let him play at the University of Florida again. But Billy Napier addressed it earlier today. So apparently the kid's remorseful. He's remorseful that he hocked a loogie into an opponent's face. Cost himself 15 yards, embarrassed himself and the program in the process, got ejected. But he's remorseful. So it'll be handled internally. That's a joke. I'd never let him play at Florida again. Denmark, is that too harsh?
That all depends on how good of a player he is, because if he's really good, you can get away with a lot more stuff.
I mean, you're a Gator alum. That was embarrassing, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it just adds to everything else that happened during the game. Just, I don't know. Like, I really wasn't like I did a reaction show for like almost an hour, and I didn't even bring it up.
Yeah, no,
because it was just like there was so many other things that just shook my head where. That was just like, oh, yeah, that's just another thing.
Well, it all ties into Billy Napier talking about discipline and, this team's together and they're going to respond. And one of your defensive tackles spit in another man's face on purpose. I mean, to me, it was more egregious than what Jalen Carter did, honestly. It's as egregious, if not more. I cannot believe he's going to be allowed to continue playing at Florida. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. We'll talk about it in the 9 o'clock hour. Former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop joins me to talk about the future of Billy Napier. Lots to do. More on the Tank Bigsby trade. We're with you till 10 o'clock. We're glad you're with us right here. It's Hacker After Dark.
Put some snap and crackle into your Sunday morning football talk.
Just had a big bowl of kicks.
On the Terminix Kickoff Show. Live from Tailgaters Parking. 5 hours before kickoff. Activated by American Electrical Contracting and Campione Law on 1010XL.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Millard Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Millard Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Millard Electric Company. Apply today at millardcareers.com. Millard Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Yo, E.T. here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar, Twin Peaks. Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. Come on, somebody.
The Friday night lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Fumbled your fender? EV took a hit? Guardian Collision is your MVP with certified expert auto body repair for any electric vehicle. Guardian Collision, they guard what moves you. Visit GuardianCollision.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Still 7-3, Chicago over Minnesota, although the Vikings get the ball back. They're about their own 30-yard line, about 8 minutes to go in the first half. We'll keep you updated. Again, a Caleb Williams rushing touchdown, the only touchdown of the night. Bears 7, Vikings 3. Final game, week 1 of the NFL regular season. A look around the National Football League from yesterday. In the AFC South, Indianapolis, hey, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones telling everybody, hey, pump the brakes. I can play a little bit. He certainly did. They destroyed Miami. Boy, what are the odds on the first coach gone in 2025? Is Mike McDaniel at the top of that list? That was ugly for the Miami Dolphins yesterday. Tua looked awful. Offense couldn't do anything. Defense couldn't stop Daniel Jones. Miami, yuck. Not a good opening day for the Dolphins. Denver did not look all that impressive, but they did beat Tennessee. Give the Titans a little bit of credit. They were a big underdog going out there. That was a game in the fourth quarter. Cam Ward just has no help. By the way, I was listening to a Titans podcast today. My buddy Brad Steele, the Two Tone Talk podcast. We have him on during Titans week. Man, they are upset with Calvin Ridley up there in Nashville. I didn't see the game, but apparently 3 dropped passes for Calvin Ridley yesterday, or 3 passes that he could have caught. I could have told you that. We could have told you that. Denmark, didn't we tell them that when they signed Calvin Ridley? Man drops balls.
Yes or yes.
Yeah, he drops passes. What he does. It's what he did here. Titans lose to Denver. Houston loses to the Los Angeles Rams. Texans 0-1. Christian Kirk did not play with a hamstring. I loved Christian Kirk when he was here. I was happy he was a Jaguar when he was. Just gets injured too frequently. Didn't even play yesterday due to another injury. Injuries piling up for Christian Kirk. Texans couldn't do anything. That's what I told you guys, man. Not to pat myself on the back, Denmark. Of course, I would never do that. I love the Texan defense. I hate their offense. I think their offense is awful. You can only ask C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins to do so much. Their running game is Nick Chubb. No offense to Nick Chubb, but I mean, how many injuries has that guy had to battle through? How many years has he been in the league? You got Nico Collins and rookies out there. Texans couldn't move the ball yesterday. Rams win a defensive battle 14-9. So, the AFC South. Indianapolis 1-0, Jacksonville 1-0, Houston 0-1, Tennessee 0-1. You look around the league. Of course, Kansas City losing on Friday night to Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Chiefs 0-1. They get the Philadelphia Eagles this Sunday. Tank Bigsby's new home. Big game for KC after dropping that game in Brazil. Is the luster off the Detroit Lions? They got manhandled by Green Bay. Green Bay was all over them. Nice win for the Green Bay Packers in the debut for Micah Parsons. Game of the day? Probably the Jets and the Steelers, right? That was a fun game, a back-and-forth game. Chris Boswell of Pittsburgh, a 60-yarder that would prove to be the winning score with a minute to go. Steelers 34, Jets 32. Buccaneers-Falcons was also a good one. Boy, Tampa Bay looks like they got something with that rookie wide receiver out of Ohio State. Just when Mike Evans might be starting to slow down, looks like Tampa Bay may have already found his replacement. Ibuka was unbelievable yesterday with a couple of touchdowns from Baker Mayfield. Buccaneers over Atlanta. Week 1 of the National Football League almost in the books. College football-wise, we've technically had 3 weeks. And it was utterly embarrassing in Gainesville, Florida on Saturday night. USF 18, Florida 16. Time management down the stretch. Play calling down the stretch. A Florida player getting ejected for spitting in another man's face. That's a joke. Humiliating performance. I've defended Billy Napier. A lot of people have defended Billy Napier. That was indefensible on Saturday night. Let's talk to a man that was an All-American at the University of Florida, former tight end Ben Troop. He's one of our guys when it comes to Gator football, and he's next right here on Hacker After Dark.
Childhood cancer does not discriminate, and 43 children are diagnosed every day in the United States. This is Tom Coughlin, and the J Fund needs your help year-round. Find out how you can help the J Fund by visiting tcjfund.org.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentist and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
This is Hayes Carlyon, here from a driver who made the smart move to buying a vehicle from Atlantic Infinity.
Hayes, this is my second Infiniti, so I knew exactly what I wanted. And Atlantic Infinity made it so easy for me. The GM Dwayne had my new ride ready to go, and I was in and out of the dealership in about 30 minutes. The Atlantic Infinity promise just sealed the deal for me. It's $2,500 in added value, including roadside assistance. I am so happy with my new car.
Atlantic Infinity, Atlantic, near St. John's Bluff.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Chip Davis, director of the Flounder Pounder Fishing Tournament. We are fast approaching our 16th annual tournament benefiting the Jacksonville School for Autism. With the help of our amazing community, we raised over $1.4 million the last 15 years. This year's tournament will be held at Palm Valley Outdoors on the Intercoastal Waterway. Captain's meeting is Thursday night, October 9th, and the tournament is Saturday, October 11th. I'm inviting you and your family to come out and enjoy our tournament festivities, raise some money, and support autism awareness. Special thanks to U.S. Army Recruitment Jacks for their support. Flounder Pounder for Autism 2025. See you there.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
For
over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacressporting.com.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to brandonroofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Hey there. You hear that? Right? You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with EasyCater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
EasyCater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Need electric vehicle repair? Guardian Collision is expert certified for any electric vehicle. Trust the home team for auto body repair on your EV. Guardian Collision. They guard what moves you at guardiancollision.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Florida and LSU this Saturday. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. And unfortunately, the game might be an afterthought now to the thoughts about Billy Napier following quite frankly, a very bad loss to USF at home on Saturday night. Former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop is certainly one of our guys when it comes to Florida football, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Ben, how we doing?
Man, I could be doing better, Ryan, but I mean, I'm gonna do my best to try to provide the best perspective I can, especially with what happened on Saturday.
All right, so here's my question to you as a former All-American. I've had this conversation with you a couple of times, and in the past, the former players have been very supportive of Billy, and I'm curious your thoughts because I've seen some former players on social media after the USF game, and it's as critical as I've seen people of what's going on down there. What's your perspective?
I mean, I'm critical as well. I mean, I'm not, I think sometimes when you get this being supportive of a guy like Billy Napier, people try to put that homer tag on you, but you're trying to look at the big picture, especially a guy like myself who went from Coach Spurrier to Coach Zook. So I understand going through some rough patches, but I think the reason why Billy Napier is getting criticism is bigger than the loss is recruiting is not coaching. And while you got the players in there, you're still the one calling plays. And I think people are looking at the progression or lack thereof of the offense. So it's more of what he still isn't doing in year 4 compared to the overall, ending of the game. Yes, you want to win the game. USF, for those who don't know, can now say they have beaten both Florida State, Miami, and Florida. I think they beat Florida State in 2009. I think they beat Miami in 2010. Now they get to add the third of the big three in 2025. It's not that you lost. It's how you lost. And if you got the ball with over 2 minutes to go on your 40 going in, and not only do you not come away with points, but the second time around, you don't even take a minute off the clock. It's that kind of stuff that be going on to people saying, Billy Napier, we don't know if he's going to be the guy moving forward, but you got to show progress. The same way we will look at a player and say he is not showing growth. Coach Napier ain't showing growth, not just from how he's coaching the team, but how he's coaching offense.
That's exactly right. After the missed field goal, Florida gets the ball back. And, look, I'm okay with throwing it on first down. I know people were killing Billy about that, but what really got me is third down and 4. You got DJ Lagway, supposedly one of the best quarterbacks in America, and you take it out of his hands to run a halfback dive, and you get stuffed, and you got to punt the football, and that got me. And also Billy's clock management towards the end of the game. I mean, not calling timeouts, I thought, when he should have, to preserve time on the clock. There were just a lot of things that kind of made me scratch my head. And I've been defensive of Billy Napier as well, but it was indefensible, some of the things that happened late in that game on Saturday.
And I think you just hit it on the head, Ryan. We're watching this thing in real time, and we're watching for different reasons. Yes, everybody wants to win the game. We get that. But losing the game, you go back. This is the same USF team that had they kicked the field goal the last time around against Florida when they couldn't stop the run. They beat us back then in the Swamp, which was that night. This was bound to happen sooner rather than later when it comes to USF and Florida for this reason. USF understands they are always playing for something different. They're playing to be respected, not just in the state of Florida, but throughout the nation. They are playing for people to say, look, man, we play football down here in Tampa as well. And I just think that when you talk about a Florida team, look, yeah, you gave up 18 points, really 15, but he kicked the game-winning field goal. Billy Napier got to understand, you're a great recruiter. That does not make you a great coach. You could get some great players in there. That does not make you a great coach. But at this point, you're not even looking like a good coach because, yes, 8-5 last year with the hardest schedule in the country. DJ Lagway showed a lot of promise. It's different when he coming in because he missed the whole spring. And then, obviously, he was able to get 100% before the regular season started. I'm not going to make this about USF beating them because I will never, ever look down on any team, whether it's USF, FAU, FIU, Bethune-Cookman, FAMU. I respect all college football. But when you got a head coach in Billy Napier who everybody seems to be making strides, and when it gets crunch time, he reverts back to old habits. He's not showing growth. And I think that, and when you go in the press conference and say we're not good enough, you got to be talking about you first and the team second.
Former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. That's certainly most of the issue. Ben, some of the bigger issue as well is DJ Lagway. Look, I get that he missed practice time, but we haven't heard anything injury-wise in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And he's overthrowing guys. He doesn't look very mobile in the pocket. I mean, every time that guy goes to the ground, you hold your breath as to whether he's going to get back up. I mean, does Florida also have a DJ Lagway problem right now?
Yeah, unfortunately they do. And I think hype is the real thing. I mean, we are a couple of weeks removed from everybody jumping off the Arch Manning bandwagon to jumping right back on it. You know, it's a week by week. But I think for DJ Lagway, he's starting to see, you know, what Graham Mertz really went through, what a Felipe Franks and Kyle Trask really went through. Everybody wants to be the starting quarterback at the University of Florida, but only certain people understand the pressures of it. It's a lot of pressure on DJ Lagway. I mean, he's big time in NIL with what he's doing, you know, to try to help other athletes and making sure he's partnering with, you know, Chipotle and getting the jump man. And I'm not mad at him for benefiting from being the starting quarterback at the University of Florida, but you're going to have to see, you're going to have to be able to reap some of these benefits because that's what nobody's really trying to talk about enough because they saying, well, he hasn't had that many starts. DJ Lagway be having a clean pocket. DJ Lagway is the guy that was the Gatorade National Player of the Year coming out of Texas, and you're going to have to prove it because while the offense has sputtered and while the defense has shown some flashes and while Billy Napier is the guy calling the plays, I will never, ever, ever criticize a coach for what a player controls. And in between those lines on offense, DJ Lagway controls it. He just ain't been controlling it the way we thought he would at this point.
No, he hasn't. And another concern, Ben, I mean, you and I talked about this offseason, this Gator offensive line and the defensive line, right? The line of scrimmage, we thought Florida was going to dominate against two, let's be honest, let's call it what it is, two inferior opponents in LIU and USF. They have far from dominated the line of scrimmage, which leads the mind to wonder how bad it might get in Baton Rouge on Saturday night.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing about football is you got to be able to put the previous game win or loss in the rear view and get ready for your current opponent. If you're talking about LSU, obviously they chomping at the bit because of what didn't happen last year in the Swamp, keeping them guys potentially out of the college football playoff. Nussmeier is one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the country right now with how he's playing. Florida going to have to get it right in a hurry because, like you say, Jake Slaughter and company, and you talk about Tyreek Sabat coming on the defensive line, at a certain point, you got to want to do it. And I'm not saying they don't want to do it. I'm not saying those guys ain't practicing hard. But if you don't do it on Saturday, people are going to question what's going on through Monday through Friday. That's always been what people been talking about with Billy Napier is what happens. I don't think it's a Saturday problem. It might be a Monday through Friday problem. You got to make sure they practice hard. You got to keep pressure on them so they can put pressure on their opponent. It's going to be it's going to be either a bounce back as far as like how they play on Saturday night, or the Boo Birds going to come out even more, because a guy like Billy Napier, unfortunately, this is the first offseason that the University of Florida can go into an offseason and kind of breathe and relax. But if it's more hype and it's more sizzle and no steak, you're going to have to put those guys out there, and they got to be winning. I don't care if you got Trey Wilson and Vernell Brown III and Trey, and Ball and those guys. If they're not getting it done on Saturday, it always starts at the top.
Final moments with former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop against Florida and LSU on Saturday. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Ben, I've been telling people since the USF game, I have no doubt Florida is going to go in there and play tough on Saturday, because that's what Billy Napier does. He'll have an embarrassing loss, and then he'll go into a top 10 opponent's house, and it'll be a close game. But at the end of the day, I just trust Brian Kelly way more than I trust Billy Napier in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and the thing about Billy Napier, which I know he gets, is people just want to go, look, when are we going to get past vanilla? You don't run the ball when you got away from the run against USF. You call them plays that are very, very predictable to a defense. You got to be able to go out. You got to be out there and put pressure on these defensive guys, because sometimes you're just throwing your hands up in the air saying, I know he didn't just run that. I know that Vernell Brown, the ball went right through his hands. But why are you going deep on third and short when you could just run it? I'm always going to question why Billy Napier won't relinquish his play calling ability, because he's the head coach. I played with Steve Spurrier that called plays. I played with Ron Zook that just was a facilitator. If I have shown that I am not good at calling plays, maybe I should relinquish it to other people on the offense, because right now, he is hindering the entire offense, Ryan, because he's so predictable in situations where he should be very unpredictable, and he's very vanilla in crunch time.
Ben, they're staring 1-5 in the face. I mean, this could get bad very, very quickly. And if that happens, I mean, I don't know if Billy's going to last the year. I mean, are they going to win any of these next 4 games?
I mean, they're gonna have to, and that's the thing. Here's the thing: had they been 2-0 right now, people still would be talking about this gauntlet. Last year, the University of Florida had the hardest schedule in the country. 2025, they got the hardest schedule in the country. They're gonna have to want to go out there and get it done. Nobody's gonna feel sorry. The reason why nobody's gonna feel sorry for the University of Florida, because you don't lack anything. You don't lack coaches. You don't lack players. You don't lack money. You don't lack exposure. You don't lack resources. You don't lack anything. You got to go do it. This is Florida State, one of the best teams in the country. What happened to them in 2024? No one felt sorry for them. No, and they didn't feel sorry for themselves. So if Florida, they would decide the type of season they're going to have. If they feel sorry for themselves, it's going to get really, really ugly. And if they don't feel sorry for themselves, they're going to go out there and fight. Fight the same way USF fought y'all on Saturday in the Swamp, because it's going to be Texas. You talk about going to LSU. Texas is coming to Florida. And you talk about something that could get ugly in the Swamp. It could look just like Texas A&M and Miami in 2024. You want to start going out there and playing hard. Because like you said, Ryan, no one wants to lose, but it's how you look when you lose, not that you lose.
And I think, again, there's so many frustrating things, it's hard to keep track. But again, one of them is Florida's 20-20 in the Napier tenure. And you look on Saturday, Mississippi State beats a top 15 team in Arizona State. Vanderbilt, the proverbial punching bag of the conference, goes into Blacksburg and beats Virginia Tech. And Florida can't beat USF at home. It leads the mind to wonder, Ben, if you rank the 16 SEC teams right now, I mean, where would Florida be?
We talking about between 12 and 16, and that's based on the performance that you have or haven't shown. And you are what your record says you are, and you definitely are what you say on tape. I am definitely all in still with this Florida team, because the biggest question mark that has to be answered: would the real DJ Lagway please stand up? And if he does, and he is what we think he is, and he gets his supporting cast, that being the running backs, tight ends, receivers, and offensive line, we got a shot. But the scariest thing is, I think DJ Lagway helped Billy Napier look better last year because of how he played. This year, I don't know if it's the injury, I don't know if it's in his head, but if he can decide, look, I'm not going to do too much, but I'm going to go out there and play within the confines of the offense and take what the defense gives me. I think this Florida team got a shot. I think this O-line going to wake up. I think the D-line going to wake up because at the end of the day, Ryan, ain't nobody going to remember Billy Napier if he gets fired. Because guess what? I mean, Will Muschamp and Ron Zook, right? And so on and so forth, and they got fired. They're going to remember who did he have at who's playing under him. Because my last 2 years of Florida, we went 8-5 and 8-5, and I thought that would go down in history. Some of the worst teams ever came through Florida, and here comes Muschamp and company. Now, you don't want to be a guy that got the opportunity that squandered it, not because you didn't have the players, because you do, because sometimes you just ain't built for what you're doing at the current moment. Some people built for one side of the ball. I hope I'm wrong about that when it comes to Billy Napier. But 20-20 in the SEC, that ain't cutting it at no school. I don't care if you went to the SEC championship or not. We will see what happens because guess what? My senior year, 2003, Chris Leak's first start in the SEC on the road against LSU. They won the national championship that year. They lost one game. I'll give you one guess of who beat them.
Yeah, it's a good point. College football is so funny. You can lose to USF, but if Florida, for some reason, goes into Baton Rouge on a Saturday night and beats LSU, all of a sudden that stock will be a lot higher on Billy Napier, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's what happens though, Ryan. The reason why we love football is this: we are a Saturday by Saturday, Sunday by Sunday. I mean, look, I got my Gators on Saturday. They let me down, but then I get to deal with my Titans and my Falcons, which they didn't really show up either. But we understand that's how we do. They loving you one week. They hating you the next week. It is your job to control what you can control, and that's not worrying about what the naysayers say. That's not worrying about what the critics say, because we will be there no matter how you see us, and we only judging you or giving you feedback based on what you're doing. And as my daddy say, feedback is only feedback when you adjust it as you get more information. Well, right now, I don't got a lot of information to go off of when it comes to Billy Napier. Hopefully, I can adjust my feedback after Saturday night.
He's one of our favorites, former Gator, All-American tight end Ben Troop. We also invite all Gator fans to go check out his podcast, 84 Reasons. Ben, always appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon.
Ryan, man, you are the best, man. Anytime you need me, I've learned when it comes to these, come to analyzing these teams, I take my orange and blue glasses off and I can see it for real shot. Congratulations to them USF boys. I used to live in Tampa. I know that's huge for that city.
Get down to the bank Sunday, September 21st, as your Jaguars face off with division rivals, the Houston Texans. Celebrate Hispanic heritage and witness history as the Jaguars take the field for the first time this season in the legendary Prowler throwback jerseys. Lock in your seats now for a 1 p.m. kick by visiting Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at Everbank Stadium.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jacksonville is football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar wrap plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111. for instant keys locksmith service.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 8th, 2007, 41-point underdog Stanford came back from being down 23-0 to beat USC in one of the biggest upsets in college football history.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Cancer Center offers on-site imaging and other diagnostic services. Early detection saves lives. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars 1-0 on the year after a 26-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers. A good test comes up on Sunday as Joe Burrow and the 1-0 Cincinnati Bengals welcome Jacksonville in for Cincinnati's home opener. Let's look back on the win over Carolina. What does it mean, big picture? And let's look ahead a little bit to Cincinnati on Sunday with the Coach Gerald Ingram. You hear him every week on the fifth quarter alongside Leon Searcy and myself, and we're always lucky enough to get him right here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how we doing?
Oh, it's a great morning this morning, and it's time to move on.
Yeah, look, 24-hour rule is in effect. The Jaguars got a big victory over Carolina. All eyes now pointing towards Cincinnati. Coach, I know we talked about this on the fifth quarter quite a bit on Sunday evening, but for people that did not listen to that, just your overall thoughts about the win over Carolina, the things you liked and maybe some things you didn't like.
Well, offensively, obviously, you know, the number one goal is to come out with more intensity, try to be more explosive, try to be different, and attack people up front and win the battle up front. And I think they did that. That was their goal. Their number one goal is to prove that they can run the ball and be physical. And they were in that situation. Try to limit the amount of bad situations, which, you know, they have to clean up the penalties. Obviously, that we didn't like that, you know, the interceptions and those kind of things. You know, overall, you say the quarterback had a pretty good day. You know, they didn't do a lot of things that anticipated that they might do. They played straight. They played a four-man front. When they did pressure, they picked it up and did a great job doing it. They solidified the pocket for him so he can be decisive in most of his throws. And, you know, and he's got to clean up, you know, the tough situations. You can't stare people down. You put a new package in. You know, they had two backs on the backfield. What do you think they're going to look at? They're going to look at what are you doing differently? Now, if you didn't like the look compared to what you had in practice, don't try to make something out of bad situation. He stared it down. He waited for it to open. It wasn't going to materialize. And just throw the ball away. Okay, you saw their quarterback do the same thing, and really, luckily, you know, that play came back on a possible score, you know, because of a penalty situation. Just get rid of the ball in that situation and then move on to the next play. There are going to be some throws, like you said, you know, we talked about yesterday, just a couple. But, you know, but overall, the quarterback played well. I thought the receivers played well. You know, there was only one drop or two drops, you know, but it's a detailed day today. And on defense, you know, they rose up to the occasion. They played bend, don't break. And when they needed to play, people came through knowing the sense of urgency that it had to happen. And that was great to see happen. And it, you know, the linebacker played exceptionally well. And there's some secondary backs that played, you know, made some key plays that you're going to need down the road. And I think what Liam was able to do in this game is come through knowing this team a little bit better on who he can trust and be able to walk up to them this week and say, hey, you know, that I know this isn't a one-game deal. I need you to do that every week. And I know you can do that every week. So from a coaching standpoint, you know, you got some positive things to coach, you know, through with a victory, you know, because you're trying to change the culture. You're trying to get them to understand and buy into what you believe in. And as far as game one, they were able to do that. Liam was able to do that. You know, we feel good about it, you know, and let's go on to Cincinnati.
The Coach Gerald Ingram with us here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, let's go rapid fire. I want to talk to you about the running back position. 18 years for you as a running backs coach in the NFL. 200 yards on the ground for the Jaguars, including a $143 from Travis Etienne on Sunday. I mean, clearly the running game was cooking.
Definitely the running game was good. You know, Etienne played low. I thought he played well with his pad level. He played exceptionally well with his vision. He knew when to bounce, when not to bounce. He knew when to put his foot in the ground and get north. I thought his acceleration through the hole was really good. I thought he played physical is what I saw. You know, there was a sense of urgency in him, and that was good to see. The backup running backs, you know, they didn't have a lot of, you know, opportunities, but when they did have the opportunity, you know, we saw a little bit here and there, you know, and we're going to have to grind away. I think the competition that's there is going to make every one of them better. And that's one thing that's great about that group. They're all going to grow from this season if they continue this way.
You know, defensively, Coach, last year in the entirety of the 17 games in 2024, the Jaguar defense forced 9 turnovers. They forced 3 turnovers on opening day in 2025. And that doesn't even take into account the 2 times where they stopped Carolina on 4th down. Boy, it was nice to see the Jaguar defense not only forcing turnovers, but then the offense capitalizing on those turnovers.
Yes, that was great to see because, you know, from a defensive perspective, from coaching, you know, you could see that they were a well-coached team on defense. There weren't a lot of mistakes. You know, they were in position, and many times they were in position to make a play, but didn't make a play. So there were still some other plays that could have been made, but they were there. So I thought their game plan was sound. I think it was aggressive. I thought they did what we thought was going to happen to our quarterback. And our plan worked, which was phenomenal. So it's a testimony to the coaches, to the players to respond, and the leadership that we're seeing out there on the field. Not one time that I feel like the defense was panicking or in a panic state, you know, and it was good to see that people understood that somebody has to make a play, and they did, you know. And it's something to look forward to.
Final moments, Gerald Ingram, the coach with us here on Hacker After Dark. Of course, you'll get Coach every Sunday on the 5th quarter alongside Leon Searcy and myself here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Coach, I want to look ahead to Cincinnati, but final thought against Carolina, your overall opinion on the performance of Travis Hunter.
Well, I think he's in a growing state right now. I like the fact that he was able to make a few people miss when he had the ball in his hand. He looked comfortable out there. He looks like, you know, the thing about Travis, he just looks like he's having fun. So it's hard to evaluate when he's not, you know, out there all the time when you're used to seeing him all the time being out there. So, but the plays that he was in, I thought, you know, he was trying to execute his job and did a decent job. And you know, at the end of the year, we'll evaluate, you know, the overall picture of this person because he hadn't scored his first touchdown yet, and he will. He's so athletic. I think he's going to be in position to make plays, you know, in these next few games. And as you saw, some really good football this weekend. You know, we're going to need him in situations to do that, and I think he'll accept that challenge.
Yeah, one of the best things about the defense, Travis Hunter, one of the younger players on the Jaguar roster. I look at some of the veterans that were brought in. Eric Murray, Jordan Lewis, not a new free agent, but a veteran in Foye Oluokun. I mean, the old guard, if you will, Coach, really stepped up against Carolina.
Yeah, you know, the veteran players, the smart players that they brought in, you know, it was good thinking from that standpoint. I've been there before. Yeah, you want this great athlete out there, but if a great athlete is out there and doesn't know his job yet, or is not as good as the players out there, how do you take the good players off the field when things are going well? You know, it's hard to disturb that, you know, and change that. And things were going the way they needed to go in this first game, and you know, it worked out. So, you know, all we can do is see how things go in the future. Next game.
Coach, speaking of that next game, no doubt competition gets ratcheted up on Sunday. The Jaguars will travel to Cincinnati. It'll be the home opener for the Bengals. They're coming off a 17-16 win over Cleveland. The talk all week will be Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. What's your early thought on the game against Cincinnati on Sunday?
Well, I think it's going to be a tough physical game. I think it's going to be a great test of will. And they're going to play a close game. They're going to play a physical game. And they have a heck of a receiving core. Joe Burrow is as good as a quarterback out there, and what our quarterback has to show that he has the same sense of mental capacity that Joe Burrow has, because in these close games, Joe Burrow shows that, if he's in the game and has a chance, he's been in that position to win those close games. You saw a phenomenal game last night of two great quarterbacks in the Buffalo-Baltimore game. Your level of competency of those two quarterbacks, there's no fear. So that's where, we want to get this quarterback to that level, that we call an elite level. And I think next week's game will be the next step to that is, can we win those close games? Hold on to them, win them, whatever you have to do. I'm never thinking about holding on to them. You win them. Okay. So I think it'll be a great test.
Coach, we got 60 seconds. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, certainly T. Higgins, they get all the acclaim in Cincinnati. But Chase Brown, that running back that replaced Joe Mixon, he's turned into a nice player up there. He's a big part of the Bengal offense.
I think he has, and I think the system has allowed them to have a backup player show that he can still contribute. When they already have their number one guy was a very, very good player, very good player. And I think that's a testimony to their offensive line and some of the things they have done. They've gotten better at situations. Joe Burrow's taken a lot of hits over the years, because of their offensive line and situations. So, they have tried to establish themselves with the back out of the backfield by being able to throw to him as well as run to him and count on him in situations. And I think this kid is emerging himself in that offense.
The Coach Gerald Ingram, you get him every week on the fifth quarter alongside Leon Searcy and myself, and we will be with you 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Bengals go final this Sunday right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Coach, thank you as always, and I will see you Sunday for the fifth quarter.
Looking forward to it. Enjoy your sun this week, buddy.
And thank you to the Coach Gerald Ingram for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Really enjoyed having Coach on the fifth quarter with us last night alongside Leon Searcy and myself. And the Coach will be with us every fifth quarter, every Sunday, 2 hours after the Jaguars go final. Certainly enjoy his insight. 18 years as an NFL running backs coach, a couple of Super Bowl rings on his fingers as well. And he will be a very valuable resource for us all season long here on Hacker After Dark. And look, the running game for the Jacksonville Jaguars was fantastic yesterday. 200 yards on the ground, $143 from Travis Etienne as Jacksonville defeats Carolina 26-10 to go to 1-0 on the year. They will have an off day tomorrow. They will return Wednesday for practice and open locker room. I'll be down in the locker room on Wednesday, down at the Miller Electric Center, as all eyes will turn towards the Cincinnati Bengals, the 1-0 Bengals, the 1-0 Jaguars, Sunday, 1 o'clock up in Cincinnati. And, of course, you will hear that game right here on 1010XL. So we certainly spent a ton of time on the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight. Spent some time on the Florida Gators, too. Look, I've defended Billy Napier a lot over the last year or two. There was no defense for what transpired on Saturday. That was bad. That was bad all the way around. Bad coaching, bad performance, a spitting incident, just outrageous behavior by some Gator players, some outrageous decisions by some Gator coaching staff on Saturday night. Just bad all the way around as South Florida comes in and beats Florida 18-16. Of course, Florida getting ready for the gauntlet now, for whatever that matters. I mean, they go to LSU and to Miami in back-to-back weeks. But as we talked about, you know, this is what Billy Napier in Florida will do. They will look like absolute awfulness against South Florida, and they'll show up and they'll probably play a great game against LSU. I don't think they'll beat LSU, but I think Florida will be in the game against LSU, which will give you hope again before they let you down, you know, some other time. It certainly appears that the Billy Napier ship has sailed. We'll see. Again, it's a week-to-week college football season. If Florida, for some reason, goes into Baton Rouge and beats LSU on Saturday night, it's a completely different conversation. I don't expect that to happen based on what I saw last week against South Florida, but we'll see. And, of course, you'll hear that game right here on 1010XL Saturday night out at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. Well, that will just about do it. Very, very busy Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark, a Victory Monday here in the city of Jacksonville. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we have a ton of people to thank. Again, the Coach Gerald Ingram, always appreciate getting the coach on. Thank you to Jamal St. of Channel 4 for talking Jaguars with us. Appreciate Jamal's insight as always. And former All-American tight end at the University of Florida, my buddy Ben Troop, joined me to talk about Billy Napier, DJ Lagway, and what is wrong with the Florida Gators. And we certainly thank Ben for taking time out for us this evening. Now, we'll be back tomorrow night on a Tuesday, and we will do it all over again here on Hacker After Dark, beginning at 8 o'clock. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Monday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark, on 1010XL, and on 92.5 FM. Hacker here, and you guys know I always tell you the benefits of Awaken 180 weight loss. Well, I had another one last week. I went down to Disney for Mickey's not-so-scary Halloween party, right? And I actually dressed up in a costume along with my wife and my son. Now, 100 pounds ago, I would not have ever dreamed of dressing up in a costume nor getting my picture taken because I didn't want to get my picture taken. I didn't want it plastered all over the internet with the way I look. But thanks to Awaken